All right, welcome back to another Wheel of Time video. This one's a little bittersweet. This is the video that Bree and I recorded prior to the announcement. The announcement about the cancellation of Wheel of Time. Before I even get into this, though, I am going to let you all know that there is currently a campaign going to try and get our show renewed, picked up, maybe by another service. There is a link below to the SaveWoT campaign, SaveWoT.com, where you can write a letter, record a video, sign a petition, let people know that we want this show back, because we do. And if you don't, that's fine. You cannot want it, but you don't have to be a dick about it. I don't know if I can say that. I might censor that because that's really early on in the video. But yeah. Anyway, that campaign is ongoing. It is passionate. We love the show. So check out the campaign, sign the petition, write your letter, record your video, do what we can. Let's keep the noise going so people know that this show is worth it. My personal hope would be for Apple TV. I think Apple TV would be a very good home for the Wheel of Time, but that's just me. Let's see what happens. Sign the petition. It's linked below. Go for it. This video, as I mentioned, is recorded with Bree. You may know Bree. She is what does she call herself? I think the fandom gremlin. She is also one half of the best-selling sci-fi fantasy romance duo, Kit Rosha. They wrote the Horny Dragon book, and currently there is a Horny Kraken book. I haven't finished it yet, but I'm in it. I mean, there's a character named after me in this book, so, check it out. But yes, and in this video, we are going to be talking about basically where the arc that she saw, specifically with the Forsaken and whatnot, that what we thought might be happening for next season there. I still think it's an interesting conversation. Obviously, we are in a limbo state right now, but this is basically showcasing the strategy that the writers were using, that Bree saw, and I think it is brilliant. There's also just a little bit at the end about 3D printing, just because I thought that was interesting. This isn't the whole conversation, but this is the part that I thought would be interesting for y'all to see. So yeah, I guess, spoiler warnings. Ooh, big spoiler warnings actually in this one, mostly because of me. But spoiler warnings in this one go all the way through to the Gathering Storm, which is like I think it's book 11 of the Wheel of Time. It's Gathering Storm, Towers of Midnight, Memory Light. Yeah, I think there's 2 more books in the series after that. So if you've read that far, you are good to go. If you haven't, bye-bye. But if you have, sign a petition and let's go.
Let's be nerdy with Lezbi Nerdy. Let's be nerdy with Lezbi Nerdy.
All right, Bree, you seem to have an agenda for this conversation.
I don't know what you mean. I am here in my perfectly normal clothing and hair. I am in a nice, calm place. Definitely not the evil ways.
No, absolutely not. No.
So,
I
listen, I just have some thoughts about the Forsaken.
You have to, yeah, okay. Have you taken your dark oaths?
Not quite.
No, okay.
I wasn't really happy with the whole soul dying forever thing. Not sure how I feel about that. Like,
yeah, that seems
I'm
to be
happy
a
with
condition.
it for other people. Great storytelling. I'm not sure I want to go there.
Yeah. I understand this. I understand this. The eternal death of the soul is a high price to pay.
Definitely.
So,
especially since these Forsaken are a bit nuts. So
yeah. Okay. We actually have more of a clear idea of where we're going with our conversations. This time you see things you want to say.
So, well, no, I have lots of things I'd love to talk about with like the whole season, and if you have anything you want to talk about, like where I think it's going, or anything that I liked for changes or didn't like, but I do have something that I think is like really cool, which is that the basically the arc they have taken with the Forsaken across 3 seasons, and why I think it was super clever and very smart and means amazing things for Nynaeve in season 4. Here is what I see with the seasons of the Wheel of Time versus the books. And as we all know, when he started writing these books, he didn't think there were going to be 15 of them. You know,
No,
he was pacing everything in these first 4 books as if he was coming right up on the end. And so in the early books in the series, we both have a lot of power creep with our protagonists. They're getting strong really fast because they have to.
Yeah.
And we also just have a ridiculous amount of villainous bad guys launched out. And then all of a sudden they have to spend the next 9 books not just killing the protagonists, which sets up a really awkward dynamic. How do you keep them scary when they seem so incompetent?
Yes, that is true. For me, the biggest, my obviously cannot ask Robert Jordan about this, but my most obvious moment on that is, Rand was completely out of his gourd in book 3. And then it's just like he steps back because he's like, he cannot be that mad yet. That's not, if we're not, if this is not halfway through the series, we can't be there yet.
And it makes sense if you're writing 6 books for midway through for him to be descending into madness, because he still needs time to like hit bottom and come out the other side. It's just unfortunate that he's not going to do that for 10 more books.
No, exactly. Exactly.
I think that's an advantage the show has, that they could pace like so many different arcs. Rand's like mental health and stability arc, which I think we first got the little hints of in this season, which I think was great.
I saw that little thing.
I think they're pacing more carefully is Bubbles of Evil, because you know, if you're in 6 books, it's okay if reality starts unraveling in book 2 or 3. It's a little funnier when it starts unraveling and then it just kind of stops for a bit and then some beetles pop up and then all of a sudden we're on full unraveling. So I think they're going to pace that.
I really liked that the bubble wasn't a bubble in the show. Just because as you said, one of the things in the books that I will repeatedly say this, I think is actually, it's a testament to how good Robert Jordan was at creating this world and these characters, that as incompetent as the villains felt, I was still engaged in the story. Whereas the show making that bubble a thing that Lanfear does, I cannot do the mental how Sidar and whatever works to make that work. I don't care. It's scary that she can do that.
And that we don't understand makes it more scary.
Exactly.
Because
it makes it more scary,
Yeah, we spent 2 seasons setting up in the show the basic rules that these powerful people, and like Moraine, Swan, they're like the powerful people. They're the scary people. They can do magical things, and they are explaining the rules to our young people. And now these people have bust in who just like apparently have never heard of the rules, that are doing things that scare the crap out of the people who used to be powerful. And so that's another part of like the pacing on this.
Yeah. Like I said, I like that I don't understand it because it does make them scarier. And obviously the rules are probably more nebulous. I told my sister this when watching whatever episode, whatever episode it is that the girls heal Alana, like the Coffin sisters heal Alana, because she called it. And I was like, I did it. And she's like, how could you not call that? I'm like, because my brain knows the rules too much. Sometimes the books blind me to things that are so obvious. Like when it happened, I was like, oh, I'm so stupid. But like the rules in the show are not as fixed as the books, which is good, I think. But because my brain knows the rules of how healing works too much, I'm like, no, they can't do that. Oh yeah, of course they can.
But even in the books, healing has rules until it doesn't. Basically, all magic has rules in the book until Nynaeve shows up. Like nothing.
Yes, until Nynaeve. Yeah,
you know.
But those girls aren't Nynaeve. Like if it had been Nynaeve, that would have been one thing. But it was like when it happened, it wasn't like I went, oh yeah. It was, oh no, like the fact that she called it without me and I didn't call it made me go, yeah. The books made me blind to something obvious. Like it's not the books; it's my I know too much. I know too much.
And that happens
sometimes.
A lot. We have book tunnel vision. And it's sometimes it's the rules, sometimes it's just what we're expecting. So we're watching scenes, waiting for them to do one thing when they've been doing something else the whole time and we've completely missed it. I think that happened a lot with Melindra. You called Melindra.
I called Melindra. I was excited about that. Yeah.
So here, I'm going to go to the beginning and I'm going to talk about like what I think is really smart about the way that they've switched up this pacing. So in season 1, we're introduced to magic basically via Moraine. And Moraine is like throwing buildings and calling fire. She, you know, does the crazy thing at Terran Ferry. You know, she's doing some pretty powerful stuff. And these kids are blown away because this is, you know, this is what the power is here. And they do have some antagonists. We have like the White Cloaks, and the White Cloaks also got a little bit of a scary upgrade.
Definitely.
But I think that's good because I think that there needs to be in season 1 some sort of antagonist that make it feel like the Aes Sedai don't have everything under control. So they have White Cloaks that can come after them. They have the Trollocs and the Fades, you know, those are scary. So that's like basically season 1. And we're introduced to this thing and we find out that our kids have magic and we find out that they have more power. They're going to be more powerful than everyone else. And the whole time, most of the bad guys they're facing, you know, Trollocs and a Fade for the most part, right? And bad dreams. They're having bad dreams, which isn't great, but you know, so we end that season with Rand breaking out our first Forsaken, basically. That's like our first, somebody is out. So Ishii is out. So now we have an upgrade in the danger level, right? Now we have one of these all-powerful Forsaken running around, but just one. So we start season 2, and he cracks open another one. So now we have Lanfear. But Lanfear is a Forsaken with an agenda. That doesn't make sense that Lanfear would immediately go out and kill Rand. That's not what she wants.
No.
So for season 2... we have scarier bad guys. We get to see, especially once she and the way they did that whole unveiling of herself, she heals herself from basic murder, strides out, starts popping people's heads off, barely flicking her fingers, you know, being terrifying. So we now know that there's dangers way beyond what we've seen in this world. But she's kind of a frenemy. She's kind of a loose cannon. She's not trying to kill them. She's just, you know, you're not really sure what she's going to do. So it makes sense that our kids still have a little bit of time to keep growing in their power. And this is where Nynaeve starts struggling. We got to see her be strong in season 1, but in season 2, I think that I think they've fast tracked the entire block thing. And I think it's over. I think we've seen the end of it.
Oh, now. I think it's over too.
So,
I think that's it. Yeah.
Because she's so powerful, they had to give her some time here while the other people sort of caught up. You know, well, Elaine and Egwene and even Rand, like, are starting to learn how to do their stuff. So they have this breathing period in season 2 where the only bad guys are Ishii, who doesn't want to kill Rand. He wants to turn him. And Lanfear, who wants to do something else, but it's also not murder. So you know, that's the pacing and that's the stakes of season 2. And these people make the Aes Sedai, who were powerful in season 1, kind of look like kids who were just running around playing. And because some of these people are giving the kids some tutelage, you know, Lanfear's like teaching them some stuff, you know, showing them about Tel'aran'rhiod, you know, and so they're getting stronger. So now we have season 3 because at the end of season 2, Ishii pops out everybody else.
Yes.
And what they do is, like, Lanfear has been the scariest fucker in this season so far, just doing all sorts of crazy shit. They show us that she's terrified of Moghedien. So that's how we end season 2, with the scariest person we know now terrified.
Yeah.
That Moghedien is out. So now we know, and we're going into season 3, these people are starting to really, our young people have to finally, like, learn their powers, and they're starting to get powerful. They're starting to get strong. You know, Egwene, because of her Damane training, has really leveled up. Elaine is starting to learn stuff. Nynaeve is not yet, because Nynaeve is still struggling. She has to go through her stuff. And I think part of the reason for that is they spent part of season 3, like if she just does this, like we show that she can face off against a Forsaken in season 3, I think that's too soon. Book 4 of 6, to have one of your protagonists go head to head and show that like she can beat her down. Book 4 of 6 makes sense. Season 3 of 8, it might be just like a little soon. But what they did in season 3, they introduced a few Forsaken. And okay, if you have ever listened to me in the years leading up to this season, I have said multiple times, they should just throw Ravine in the garbage. I hate him in the books. I think his entire character arc is just sexual assault.
Mm-hmm.
He's not interesting in any way, because that's literally all he cares about. I don't know how they made him interesting in the show. I hate them for it. I hate them that I don't hate the character. I mean, he's not great, and he's still doing creepy stuff. But the way they introduced him is terrifying, because a guy who has all this power and literally just uses it to make women sleep with him or catfight for him, that's just like, okay, so you're like a fucking Hollywood executive. Great. You're not scary.
Yeah.
He rolled into the fucking hall of the tower and made all of them think that they have known him forever and like him.
Yep.
That's terrifying, because he's doing this mass freaking whammying all over the place.
Yeah.
You know,
just like a wave of compulsion.
It's so scary. So we have scary people on the board, and they have motivations we're not sure about. But Lanfear is kind of still team good guys. So she is forming a wall against them for the first part of season 3. She's sort of like protecting them. She's like, get Rand out of the city. We don't want Moghedien coming after him. She's telling them she's still kind of on their side. So that's what gives them the season 3 to go through their arc. They get to, come into their power. And the season 3 was really kind of the coming into the power. Rand, Perrin, they're like the special ones, because Rand went through his Ruidian arc, and, he embraced, kind of, unfortunately in the most tragic way, the fact that he has a horrible future ahead of him, where who he is going to hurt people.
Yep.
And that being close to him is dangerous, and that's a terrible thing. Just give Yosha awards. That scene with poor little Squash there.
Child. Yeah. I just kept calling her doomed child. Like, the minute she had lines and was cute, I was like, no, show. No.
That's an instance where book readers, the minute they saw a cute girl, they were like, no.
Yeah.
Because we knew.
The minute they gave her lines, like a cute girl, like running around in the background, and then she was cute. She had one line, and my brain went, and then she had a second. I was like, stop it, show. I know what you're doing. Stop giving her lines.
So yeah, that, but what I really thought was interesting about this is, Lanfear is still kind of running defense through all of this until Rand breaks up with her, and she goes to Hot Topic, gets a whole new fit, and gloves her off.
I wonder if show only people are like, I addressed this in a video, but I don't know if show only people watch that and we're like, is that book canon? I do not know if it is, but I do know that in like the prologue of the first book, Ishii wore thigh-high silver top boots. So the fashions of the Age of Legends were extreme.
Yes. I loved it.
Yes.
I loved it. I was like,
I thought it was
girl, you were like, no, I'm not just going to go play some emo music. I am going full dark side, and now we're going to do murder. But
another dramatic headpiece.
But what's interesting to me for Nynaeve is what was happening in the background of that scene, which is Moghedien made string art out of Sammy's insides.
Yes.
She did some crochet, blood crochet. And that that jerked up the stakes again, because now we have a Forsaken who is so dangerous that she's murdering other Forsaken.
Yeah.
So they have just put her on a level where they've been calling her the weakest, but she's clearly strategic and dangerous, and she knows how to do some murder. So I think that the fact that, you know, this scene where her murder has been displayed comes so close to Nynaeve breaking her block. I think this is what we're setting up in season 4. Nynaeve now has access to her power. Moghedien is now so much more terrifying an opponent because we know that she can take out other Forsaken. So I think when they go head to head in season 4, it's going to mean so much more than it could have in season 3. Because I think it's going to be Nynaeve doing something that none of these other people can do. You know, just because like in the end of season 2, all 5 of them kind of had to, like, 6 of them were up there on the top of that tower trying to take out Ishii, who like 75% wants to die at any moment anyway.
I'd push that number higher, to be honest.
So, and Rand dropped a building on Sammy, but didn't kill him. So what I think is going to be fun is to see our first real Forsaken smackdown. And I really do think Nynaeve's going to get to be the one who, like, does something. And I'm really, really excited for it because, I mean, partially just because, oh my God, Layla Coster, like, what the heck?
She's so good. Like, there's a scene with her and like where she's walking up on Sammy and you just see her from the top, and literally just the way she walked, I was like, I know who that is.
Yes.
Like, you can't, there's no facial features. There's no, like, it's literally the top of a person's head. And like, I know exactly who that is because she's so distinct. So distinct.
Everything.
It's not at all how I envisioned Moghedien in the books. Like, not even close. And I love it.
I do, yes. I did not envision her that way at all, and I regret every second of it because this is so fabulous. She's so creepy, and she's so scary, and I am ready. I'm ready for the showdown. I'm ready. Go, Nynaeve, go. So I think that's, but this is what happens at the end of season 3. We now have Ravine and Lanfear and Moghedien bopping around, free. And we have several unknown Forsaken off in the shadows still, and there is no protection between our young folks and them anymore. You know, the Aes Sedai could never protect them, and now Lanfear's not trying anymore. She has decided she's just gonna come at them. So we're going into season 4 for the first time, where it's just gonna be our kids versus the Forsaken. And that's scary, but I also think that pacing it that way means it's going to be scary because, like, Rand and Moraine were just, like, bopping off Forsaken in the first books, you know, elbow checking them and stuff. We're getting into season 4, and the only person who's killed a Forsaken, I mean, Ishii got ambiguously murder stabbed.
Yeah, I'm still not entirely convinced he's dead.
I mean, I'm not 100% either, but basically Moghedien's the only one who is, like, taken out of Forsaken. Yeah. So we're going into season 4 scary. Lots of stuff. So, and I think that is something that they did really skillfully, because it is hard to do power creep in a way where you don't get ahead of yourself and that doesn't make it so that you're, you know, and I mean, even the books kind of have this problem because, like, in early books, like, people are trying, like, 5 of them are trying to take out a Trolloc. And, like, in the final books, it's like the Two Rivers archers are, like, you know, shooting 1 arrow and, like, skewering 5 of them. I mean, not exactly, but not far off.
But, yeah, pretty much,
just, like, everybody's killing Trollocs left and right, you know.
Well, like I said, it's a real testament to the books how much I love them, despite the fact that even, like, I'm never worried about the Forsaken, not even a little bit. I'm just like, yeah, somebody will balefire him, it'll be fine. Like, the only Forsaken, quite honestly, in my mind, like, when I'm reading, that jump scared me was Semi. Semirag jump scared me in the books with what she did with Min. That's the only time. And she's
pretty scary, honestly.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to find out who we've got waiting in the
I can't,
shadows.
Yeah.
But I am going to say, I kind of think Elaine and that balefire rod are going to Caemlyn. I kind of think I think that she's going to be the one that gets to balefire him. That is my hope anyway, because I think Rand has enough going on. He's got some Shido. I think he has to go take the Stone of Tear in season 4. And I would really like to see the Stone of Tear fall to an actual army of Aiel. Let's go.
Oh, that would be I'm pretty sure that's where we're headed with that. Yeah. Oh, I haven't thought about the whole. Huh. Oh, yeah. What they're gonna do with Ravi, like how they're gonna get rid of him? Because in the books that is Rand, with like a side of Nynaeve and Moggy, who take him out. Yeah.
I do think that they're going to like parse them out. We're all going to get our own little Forsaken, like, you know, and I think that Elaine might get, because it makes sense for her to have a legitimate beef with this guy. He's not only like puppeting her mom, but like, and I honestly hope Tom is going with them. Like, let's go. Tom and Elaine, cool. You know, I still ship it. Come on, Tom Morghese.
Oh, I was so scared when that sentence was going. I was like, what the fuck? Bree, I've known you for so long. Do not.
No. They're just going to roll in. Tom's going to elbow the guard at the door in the face. Yeah. He's going to fall down, and then he's going to hook up with Morghese. No.
Okay, cool. Okay,
I think the show had serious father-daughter vibes. And I very much appreciate that that's all there was.
They just skipped that weird. I feel like Robert Jordan went to like one. He kind of slept through maybe one intro to Psych and was like, I understand women's sexuality 100%. They all want to sleep with their dads. What? No.
And not competitive with mom either. Like, I do really think that Jane, whatever, how do you say it? Jane?
Yeah.
Whatever, however we're saying it. Rolling in there and calling Morghese a whore, I do think that is a... Yeah.
Like, it's a call out.
Elaine did that in the books, and I was like, Elaine, girl?
Yeah.
We are
it's like bringing it... because I caught that too. It's bringing in a beat from the books, but putting it in the mouth of someone we're supposed to hate. I was like, that's where that line should be. That's where that line should be. Yes. So
that's my hope. My hope is they're like, you know, on a boat and they're just they can bop over there. Matt could come with them, you know.
Sure. I mean, he could have his die and live again moment there.
Yeah. I am not sure if I think, like, there's been a lot of discussion, like, when is Matt going to go through the doorway again? I'm not 100% sure I think he has to. I think that, like, a lot of the stuff, because, like, a lot of the answers to his questions in Tyr were, go to Ruidian. Go to Ruidian. Yeah. You're going to die if you don't go to Ruidian. So, he's only
he also gets this thing about the prophecy, like the daughter of the nine moons and stuff.
That's the only one that's sort of hanging out there. And I feel like there are a lot of ways that could...
It could. I still think he's going to go through it because they showed the 2 doors. Like, they gave us 2 doors. We met the fox and we've seen the snake on the bracelet we saw the snake on the bracelet that Elida has.
Well,
so I think it's likely.
Whoever, Alviarin, she called them the Elfine, right?
Yeah, but they specifically called out snakes and foxes.
Yes,
a couple of
they
in
said
a few
both
different
words,
ways.
Elfine and Elfine. They said them
both. But I don't. Yeah, exactly. So I do think he is going.
But I think
he's going to go through.
I also don't know if there's going to be just 2 or if they're going to be in like multiple ones of multiple places that go there. I feel like that's since we've got one in oh my god, I couldn't remember Tanchico for a second, which is really sad.
I wasn't sure
because I've been singing the Hills of Tanchico nonstop for like months.
Of course. Yeah. I think he's going to go through to see about his memories. I think that's what because they reversed the order of his memory thing. Like, I don't quite know what and this is not like a call out for the show. Like, this is not me upset with the show, but I'm not entirely sure what they've done with his memories, but they're fucked up right now. So I could see him seeing another door and being like, hey, that's like, you know, like in the books, he saw another door and was like, hey, you pissed me off. I think I could see it being the exact same thing. It was like, hey, you fucked up my memories. I'm going through again.
So the way I have been reading the memories thing is that the horn gave him all sorts of memories and it's overwhelming. Yeah. And the trick was he said he's got too many memories in their head. And the guy was like, sure, I'll take some memories out and took out his.
Yeah.
So now
That's what
I
I
think that
figured
he's
too,
in
yeah.
the, you know, now he's got like the opposite thing. So yeah, I do think that there's every chance he could go through there, but I do think they have some flexibility and he doesn't have to, depending on how everything works out. Because I'm pretty sure that they're going to keep it loosey goosey there. You know, they have to have some flexibility for what is going to have to happen going forward.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I would find it very weird if they specifically have mentioned that there are two and then they don't show us the second one. Like
I mean, it would be. I'm sure
yeah.
that they fully plan to, but not sure how or when.
Yeah.
Or if it will come to pass, because, you know, I'm sure that there are lots of things in season 1 that were set up there that didn't come to pass because chaos.
So many. Yes. So many things.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I do like that as a talking about the Forsaken power. Like I hadn't mapped it out that clearly, but yes, it works very well the way the Forsaken threat has grown,
has escalated
over the course of escalated. That's the better word.
As our kids get stronger, our young people, and you know, without getting too heavily into the sad parts of the finale, I do think that as much as I personally, and you know this because I've told you this, my dream was that Swan and Matt and Min were going to go on the world's and Jane Farstrider herself were going to go on the world's weirdest road trip, and I was ready for it. Not Min, sorry, Jane Farstrider. I was mixing up.
Why was that?
I was mixing up the other Swan road trip.
Okay, sorry. That's what that confused look while my brain was going. Min? How is it Min?
I am going to say that, like, you know, I'm sad about 2 road trips we're missing out on now because Swan. We don't get our. I didn't think we were going to get the Logain one. Logain's not hanging around, so I didn't think we were going to get Logain and Min. Min's also not hanging around. So, you know, I'm bummed about that, and I'm bummed about I'm not going to get my Matt and Jane Farstrider herself road trip.
Yeah.
But I feel like this season was very much we're losing the mentors season, you know. Moraine is not in great shape.
No. I think Moraine's gone next season.
I'm pretty sure she's
gone.
Football tackling.
Yes.
But we also, even like Lanfear as a somewhat protective force in their lives is gone. And Swan is gone. And so I feel like as much as I wanted them to create from whole cloth an entirely new plot worthy of Swan, I understand why they didn't want to, because this season was very much about closing the doors on anyone who can help them as they have to walk forward now newly in charge, basically. Rand now has an army. Perrin has a village. You know, Egwene, in not too much time, is going to probably have a rebel tower. Elaine, gosh knows what's going to happen. I mean, I don't know what a contracted Elaine arc looks like, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah. I still am on, like, Morghese doesn't last long. Largely, I do not. Well, they could do a completely different thing with her, but Morghese's storyline is not one that I necessarily want to follow in the show if it follows the books. So
I feel like the same thing that I say about Swan applies. You take her out, and Elaine has to step up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Also, I'm not sure casting Olivia Williams really says I want to keep this lady on tap for one of the world's most depressing storylines.
Yeah.
You know,
so
if we had quibbles with Swan's arc, Morghese's like makes it look like a fucking Powerpuff Girl victory.
Yeah. I actually, Jen called out, like in a good way, the Morghese video I made many years ago, and I was like, I literally don't remember what I said in that video, so I went back and watched it. I was like, yeah. Sorry, it's just hilarious. Me agreeing with myself, going, yeah. Oh yeah, that's a good point I made 5 years ago.
You said in there, which is that you think that Brandon Sanderson put Morghese in the "it was about all of them" thing because she deserved it after how badly she was tortured in that god awful.
I thought it was like she was like a stand-in for all the casualties of war. Because that's what she was. She was just a casualty. But like she was a casualty that Rand knew. personally, who was just all of the stuff that was going on in the world just knocked her off of her throne over and over and over again.
Like every antagonist group in the books got a pass. They're like, okay, we don't like the Forsaken, they're gonna fuck with her. We don't like the White Cloaks, they're gonna fuck with her. We don't like the Shido, they're gonna fuck with her.
They're gonna fuck with her, yeah.
Wait, the White Cloaks are back again. Oh wait, it's okay. Yeah. Galad killed the guy.
Yeah. So, sorry, it was just a really weird experience of watching my own video going, I'm making some good points.
I'm glad you agree with yourself. We might not always agree with ourselves, because we could go back somewhere and find me saying that if they include Ravine in the show, it's going to be a disaster. I don't agree with myself anymore, apparently.
That's true.
And I'm mad about it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I like that as sign the petition, whatever. As my sister said in her video when she was on, she's like, tell them to do fraud. Sign it multiple times.
I have signed the petition. I absolutely. I was like, I'm gonna harass them.
Oh, what are you printing?
Actually, hold on. Oh no, I don't have the thing on, so you won't be able to see it. Forsaken Perrin. I will take a picture and send it to you when it's done.
Please do.
I am
my God.
to 3D print Forsaken versions of all of them. I'm going to have to tweak all of until I get it right. But yes, that is my goal.
Yes, because you got to get Forsaken.
So I started with Perrin.
Nynaeve. Okay.
I have Nynaeve in the shoot too. But so Perrin was the one I had open when my Egwene poster print finished. So I have been slowly printing these because Melindra from Threefold Talk wanted me to upload them so she could print them. She is my 3D printing Jedi Master.
Okay.
So
you're 3D printing the posters?
I'm I will go look on Blue Sky. I posted the Egwene one just a little bit ago.
Okay, I'll check that out afterwards.
Maybe you can put a picture of it here so they can see what I did.
Yeah. Okay, because that's such a cool idea. Well, now I feel like I want to look at it right now.
Yeah, go find it, and then you can just put it up.
So this is a 3D print?
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's pretty cool. It does it in like 4 colors. So you pick 4 colors, and it basically does these really thin layers so that sometimes the colors combine together to like make different lighter and darker
shades
ones. So yeah.
Oh, that is so cool.
So I'm working on the Forsaken Emmonsfield 5 and Elaine. I think I put a preview of what the Elaine design hopefully will look like in the replies there.
Okay, yeah, I see.
Because I said I'm going to send it to Kevin if I can make it work.
Yes. Wow. Oh, I never thought about 3D printing. Okay. This whole 3D printing world is not one that I know very much about. That's so cool.
It is wild. So yes, Mel is a brilliant 3D printing expert. And so we have a whole little channel in my Discord where actually Rant Elmore has been working on all of the Forsaken statues. And I test printed the Asmodean one for him, and they're pretty cool. And I think he has the whole set now. So you can actually 3D print the little Forsaken statues that Stefan had in season 1.
Nice. Oh my God, that's so cool. That is so cool.
It is pretty cool.
All right, there you have it. Our thoughts about, or mostly Bree's thoughts. Actually, Bree came into this conversation with a very clear plan and agenda. She basically just sent me a message. She's like, hey, if you want me on your channel, I have thoughts about the Forsaken. I was like, oh, okay. So that's what this video was. But what did you think about her, basically the thoughts about the ramping up of the way they were working with the villains? I thought that was a brilliant way to break down what they were doing, and hopefully if we get picked up again, sign the petition, write your letters and your videos, and make noise on Blue Sky and Twitter and Reddit, and I don't know what else there is, Instagram, TikTok. If you're on the TikToks, do it, because I am not on the TikToks because I hate that app. And it's not like any moral thing. It's just whenever I turn it on, it's so loud, and I'm very old. It is very loud. It just yells at me immediately. Like I can't even turn it on and then look through and see what videos I want. It just makes noise immediately, and I'm too old and cranky for that. So, but I think TikTok, it would be an excellent platform to be making noise about this on. One day maybe I'll figure that app out and it won't make me angry every time I turn it on. Yes. Do it. I know that has nothing to do with the video that we just watched, but yeah, do it. And let me know your thoughts on this one in the comments below. And if you like my content, you want to support me, I also have a Patreon that is linked in the description below. As always, thank you so much to my patrons. This would not be possible without you, so thank you. And with that, I am gonna end this here, so please like, subscribe, and I will see you around. Bye.